Alright, so let's continue with the Webapp in Go. And the funny thing that I realized is since we added Postgres, so let's say, right, we are almost like if we were to use Tailwind and use some technology that starts with O, we would have some like top G stack. That would be, yeah. Anyway, so I guess the plan for today is to finish the Postgres thing. Like, let's add a way to, yes, if we take a look at posts, right now we only have a way to read these posts, right? So that's one thing. And the other thing is, if we look again like at get post, it looks very similar to the one that we have in here. So I guess this one and also this one. So I'm not sure if this is, you know, the reason why people introduce services because of this duplication, but I think, you know, this would be a good reason, right? Because you have this thing twice basically. So you can think of it like, like how can I, you know, make sure that this if I change this one, it also changes in the API, right? Like I have the same way of getting a single post. So maybe that's why you want to introduce services. I guess that would be one thing, and you know, the other is to just let's go into CMD and, you know, add all the other routes. And yeah, because I guess now if we run again the database, we no longer have any data inside. So I guess the first thing would be to add the create post, because we want to be able to create some posts easily. So posts controller create post, right? So we want to be able to easily create some posts, not have to go into the database. I even forgot how I did it. I did it with PSQL, right? So yeah, so this way we'll be able to create posts with curl, or if we are gonna do that, so it's 8080, I even forgot that, so I have no posts. Or the other way would be to add a form which allows you to create posts. So that's another way, and obviously we'll try to do that because I guess it's a neat way to do it in HTMX. So that would be interesting. So let's go ahead and allow you to create posts, right? And the first thing would be to create that it's called like data transfer object. So like DTO, it's basically when we want to refer to the JSON data that we take in. So it would be just the name and the description, and this will no longer need that. So this will be what we are gonna read from the body, right? And in some way I was thinking maybe it's also what we send when you do get, but usually when you do get, like get all, you might want the ID for simple get. So I'm not sure about that, we'll see. But yeah, something like this. Like when you read the data, you want this kind of object, right? Like the simplified version. Because maybe in the future I saw for ban, like the ORM that we use, you can even add other stuff in here, like the author, for example, which is gonna be like a user. We don't have user yet, but yeah. And then you can use some stuff from ban to you know, make the relationship between posts and users. So yeah, and maybe we don't want to include that in the get, like in the create. So yeah, let's see, let's go to posts, right? And the next thing after get is to create post. This stuff is gonna get a gene context as usual. And now let's do posts controller, create post, create a context. And I guess if we take a look at main, we'll see that this is a post request. So we are gonna get the post that we want to make inside of the body of the request. So when we make a request to API posts, we'll put the post in the body, right? And yeah, it's basically how we're gonna do that. And so I guess something that we are gonna need is gbind. Gbind go JSON. This is what we might need. I guess this is the function that we just made. This is how it looks like, and we want this body, right? So strange, because I remember it was like C bind, and this okay, makes sense. We can use just bind. So let's say that we make a post. Okay, let me just search golang. Like how is it called when you have this thing in the front of the, like a prefix? Import struct name. Like, you know, I'd like to use it like this, right? So oh, I see. So we can, oh, I get why sometimes I was saying something like this. And I was like, why do people do like underscore and stuff? But what does it mean that you do an underscore here? Do you have post? No. Okay, yeah, it makes sense, but I don't know if I like that, because that means that we import all the models. Yeah, whatever. I mean, another thing would be golang different packages in the same folder, right? So you shouldn't have whatever. this kind of sucks, but it's fine, whatever. Anyway, so we want to create this kind of object. So I would say, to be honest, sure, it makes sense to do it like this, but like var body like this, and then we need this if statement. So let's do just bind, because to be honest I think it's better, right? Let's format the code nicely, because I don't know how you can format this bad. Is it really? Yeah, weird. And this is called C in my case. Okay. So yeah, sure. In case that we try to bind and we get an error, it means that it's some kind of validation error. Oh, interesting. You can do like abort with error. I was doing status. Okay, I mean, could be could be nice to have some information about the error, but let's just say we do status. I don't know if it's like unprocessable entity, right? That's the validation. Okay, and then we just return. That's good. All right. So afterwards, now we have the body. We read it, and now I think we should. So models. Yeah, like what we should do is convert from this into a post and then write it to the database. Let me check something. So auto generate. Can we have something like this? So yeah, whatever, you can have that. Select this. In Go we can have that. Nice. See, we can have this kind of stuff. On our ID. So can we just add it? It's like what I'm not really sure about is why it's comma pk, whatever. But yeah, this would like generate the thing for us. Now I see that we might need some extra stuff. So that's pretty neat. But what I think we should also do, well, Docker, what's the thing called? The extension. I meant it's like you can make your own Docker file, I guess. So yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So I mean something like this, right? I wanted to do like from Postgres, whatever. So like do that, then install the, I guess you have to install this one. Who knows? And yeah, I guess it's afterwards you can stop. No, don't do anything. So I guess leave the entry point as it is. I guess should be fine. Let's leave it like that. So docker build -t. All right. Okay, and now if we let's keep the name like that. Okay, and now if we do UID, this should run the new one, right? And I mean, no, we did so if we go to migrations, we did all of this weird stuff. Like what I would like to do is create the tables from Go, you know. Like that's another thing that I would like to do. So maybe we can specify here the length of the string, like max length. So let's see. But you know, we'll have to copy this thing, run it from our migrations. I think it's easier. So then ban string max length. Yeah, whatever. Let's okay, so now what I was really curious about was if we go ahead and delete the old migrations. So go run. If we say create SQL and then say like extensions, we're gonna have this one for the extensions. Can do this. Can you, like if we do the down, can we remove it? Post will delete extension, drop extension. So let's copy this one. Like this, right? So now we should have a way to create it and delete it. And yeah, as I said, so this one can be removed, we don't care about it. It would be interesting to, I mean, I can remove them because the database is completely new, so we don't have any details about them, about the migrations. So as I said, this would be nice, yeah, if we do it from the create go posts, and if we do it from here. But as you can see, the only thing is that this doesn't create it automatically. We have to create it manually. So bun create table, right? So this is like create table, you give it the structure, table expression, table if not exists. Okay, interesting. So this is everything that you can do. So this would be what? Drop table if exists, and then create table. This is like reset. Interesting. But what I really need is just to create a table, right? Obviously, what we need to do is Webapp go models. Well, I guess that's what you think, right? Webapp, yeah, should be available, right? Oh, it's yeah, I know. It's Webapp, right? Yeah. So I guess, yeah, this should be in the posts folder and the package name should be post, but whatever. So we have the post, and this is the table for which we want to alias p. We want to create the table for, right? Just curious if you can specify more stuff like this. Can you not null? You can say that. I guess, yeah, like makes sense to have here like bun it's like what, not null. You can even say like, well, I guess slug name not null. Weird, because I copy pasted exactly. Struct tag field not compatible with. That's pretty strange. Oh, I need to use double quotes. Okay. And then unexported fields are ignored. Oh, that's interesting. It means that no, we should be able to have a single mod, like a single structure for this. Or am I wrong? Like, can I, take this stuff and do like a comma? Not separated by space. Oh, it means that we can have a single object. That would be better, like a single structure. Let's see, because this becomes, description, and for ban we should do description, and I would like default value. Okay, that's better, because it means that we can have it like this and not worry about the fields that are used for JSON and the fields that are used for ban. That's good, right? Default, can I say, I don't even know how I can say that. This makes sense because it's an empty string in SQL, right? Okay. Maybe. So let's see. Yeah, like this is not null, the names and stuff, so we have everything probably. Right, like sure, we'll add more stuff to it, but let's go now to the migrations. So we have these, which we can delete because we are gonna use this one instead. And oh, these are all of them. Oh, perfect. These are yeah, this is a good page, we'll keep it open. But yeah, you can even say like ignore field. Okay. Alright, like a lot of stuff. Okay, yeah, sure. So like this is how you would create a table. So let's see what would happen if we do models.post. Looks like we return what, nil at the end. We don't really need that, but it's good to know that you can have this kind of stuff added, although it's interesting, you cannot have it as a tag, so sure, makes sense. Okay, so this is the bad way of doing it. Bro, do I see a difference? But I mean, obviously, because it's I don't even know why they added this section. It's like, obviously, if you use alias, whatever. Column types. Okay, so you can have column type. Yeah, because what I was searching for before I was distracted was like the string. what does null zero do? It's null zero is Marshall Go zero values. Ah, okay. So interesting to specify a default. So you have to use all of them, even null zero. Right. So, but I guess this is not null. No, this can be null zero and not null also. Right. That would make it with the default value of nothing. So automatic timestamps. That's like if we want to add created at. Right. That would be a thing. Bun null time. Okay. Then you have hooks and stuff. Well, I mean, whatever. A role and stuff. One allows to embed a model in another model. Like what? Oh, I get it. I guess it's like... Huh. Well, probably it means that it's like the relationship, right? Maybe that's what it means. I'm not sure what embedding struct means. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I guess it's like nested, but in the table it just creates them as columns. So. Okay, I mean, haven't really answered my question about the type. Like they only have an example for integer, which not ideal, but like, I think this should be enough to create a table correctly, right? And like to delete a table, like drop table, how can we do that? Just new drop table. So should be something like this, right? We do a new drop table. When we give it the models post, and I guess this takes in like an actual object. So right, like do you have type of or something? Like how does it? No, because here we pass in a pointer, right, to a post, and the value is null. So yeah, I don't know, it's like probably at compile time it does some polymorphic checks, and yeah, I mean, it's because I'm pretty sure Go has generics now at this point. Pretty sure I heard something about that. So yeah, I was just thinking that means that you can actually pass types as arguments, so that it would be useful in this case. Yeah, whatever, it is what it is. So, let's give it with what it was complaining about that. Oh, I mean, in Go it matters the white space, or I guess not really the white space, but the formatting. Ooh, yeah, that's why they don't really have semicolons. I guess you can use semicolons, but not required. So this should run the migration for our table. That's pretty decent. I'm still curious, how can we I don't think we need this, but this would be interesting. How can we do one go type varchar? Okay, maybe in this example. Let's see, so varchar. Oh, this is like source code. Yeah. So varchar changes the default length, but what if, oh, okay, so we can do that. Alright, so then that's exactly what we needed. So let's say type is gonna be something like varchar, and let's say 128, right, characters for the name, 512 for description, and that should be enough. Alright, so I guess, oh, and this one can also be JSON, I guess. So JSON created. Well, should we do like this? I mean, we can keep the names with capital letters. We can do camel case. Yeah, not really sure how the convention is for Postgres. So PostgreSQL column name convention. The uppercase, lowercase with underscores. Okay, so then let's use snake case. I mean, I just saw the first comment, and that's what I'm trusting. I mean, sure. No, it makes sense because, like the characters are doesn't matter if it's uppercase or lowercase, right? How is that called? Case insensitive, right? So it doesn't really care about that. But for the JSON, you can leave it like this. why not? Okay, so let's see what happens if we try to migrate. Oh, I have to do init or what? Okay, and then migrate. All right. So that should have done something. Now, pretty sure nothing is gonna happen because we don't really have anything in the database, and it even failed to compile because I forgot that instead of posts I can use post. Alright, so obviously we have to create a post now, but I think this compiles now. So if we run this, it seems to work fine, and inside of Docker, okay, we don't see anything, but let's try to create this one, right? Let's try to create a post. So let's call it post, like this. And I think post should probably return the ID of the post that we just made. I think it makes sense to do that. So let's do it like this, and right, like it has to do that. But at the same time doesn't really have to, because we can just return it in the JSON response. Right. Yeah, I mean, coming back to this, well, like as I said, this one pretty scuffed because yeah, like when you do a get, you should actually get the ID back, but when you do a post, you shouldn't be able to pass the ID, right? Like with JSON, it doesn't make sense to pass an ID. So maybe that's why we actually need another structure, but we'll see, because yeah, like when you do get all, you kind of need the IDs of the things, right? But when you post it, you don't really want to let users send an ID. Doesn't make sense to allow that. So actually let's do JSON, because we need this one like this, right? Yeah, for binding. So we need to specify the name. Right, at least when we return it. Via get, right? So okay, let's try to insert something. So let's go to the insert example. Okay, so we have quite a lot of stuff that we can do, but let's see how we can insert just a simple model. So just like this. So here we need to use post, right? and here we can use the DB, and context is C probably. Alright, so as a result we get SQL result. Curious what the result is. So we have result. Oh, the ID is scanned automatically. What? It's pretty nice. So, like if you do insert, the ID is scanned automatically. Huh. Okay, I guess. Pretty useful, probably. But I'm curious what result is. Because it looks like we are gonna get the ID back anyways. Right, so that's good. So first step. And I see that here we need to use a reference. I mean, it's used here because it's a slice, but again here it's already a reference. So yeah, but I don't know what the result is. So let's say that if error is not equal to nil, then see status, and I would say it's bad request, maybe. Usually, yeah, that's what I think I would do. And then see JSON HTTP, okay, and let's just return the post itself, right? Pretty curious to see if this is gonna work. Okay, and okay, so we try this one. So we pass in the name and the description, and we get back, you know, pretty nice. Get back the ID, the name, description, and created at. Jesus, it just worked first try. I mean, that's why, you know, Golang is a type of language that if it compiles, it works. I'm just kidding, but no, it's kind of true though. It's kind of true. So now if we go to our posts, we should see the post, be able to access the post, right? So it's pretty neat. And it seems like it works just fine. So the only thing is that, as I said, you can pass in like slug the ID and put in something, but it should probably fail. Well, we should also do the name too, but curl show headers. I just want to see the response because it's gonna return a 400. So okay, minus D alright, so it's a bad request, right? Because we didn't work to insert the thing. Interesting, it didn't really fail on the fact that the ID was wrong though. So that's interesting. So fmt.print ln, can I print the post? I'm curious to see what the post is when it fails like that, because wait, what? Whoa, oh, wait a second. Wait, what? Wanted to override status 400 with 4. Oh, so it actually failed in bind. That's interesting. But why did it? Oh, it writes 400. Oh. Alright, so I mean that kind of makes sense. But for example, if I do this thing, abort with error, right? Like this. This one, you still have to return after it. So it kind of it's a bit unintuitive that it says abort, because I would expect that abort also exits the function. Oh, okay. So I guess it's better to do that, but you know, I would have liked to see this, but I mean, it is what it is. It's still fine. Yeah. Okay, I guess we can probably set the error, right? And not set the status, because the status is already set by the thing itself. So yeah, this is gonna complain about the UID. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, sure, fair enough, whatever. Bind fails, and then here we set a bad request. We can report with error, and we can specify the error. Let's see what error is in this case. So let's say we pass in the same ID that we got. So let's go back, find the thing that worked, so this one, and let's try to do the same ID. So this time it's gonna fail with duplicate key. Nice. And what if we don't do the -d? I mean, it's interesting, we don't get back the response as I thought we would do. Nah, whatever. Okay, I guess. Oh, was it displaying the object? Yeah, it was. Pretty nice. So yeah, it means that if we try to, you know, pass an ID, at least it makes sure that the ID is fine, right? And here it shows us the error. But yeah, I mean, you know, better error handling, stuff like that makes sense. And sure, I'll do this, okay? And then for get post, sure, like not found seems enough, to be honest. probably even here it makes sense, you know, to say something like a custom error with duplicate post or something. But yeah, now let's try to create a form in HTMX to be able to create posts from there. So, because that would be a bit nicer, I guess. So, oh, FMT is not used, perfect. Alright, so we have that for posts. I guess for now it works the way we have it. I don't see a problem. Obviously, like, you don't really want to pass in the created at or the slug. Like when you know display like the API spec, you want to show only name and description. Maybe that's why in the future we'll have a separate structure for the input, and the output can stay as post. So that's one idea. But let's see. So I'm not sure if I want to do a separate page for creating posts or to use the index page. I guess we don't really have a, I wanted to say like a refresh of the page. So, well, I mean, doesn't it make sense? Because I was just thinking that if you are on the index page and someone creates a post, no, it's not gonna refresh. So you have to manually refresh the page to see the new posts. But I think that's how usually websites work. Like, yeah, you know, unless it's something like once every 10 seconds it checks for something, but let's not get into that. So sure, let's try to add in the index page a way to create new posts, right? So let's define our stuff. So define post create, right? And this one is gonna be able to create posts. So we can do here template post create, right? So this is gonna create a post, or I guess we are gonna put a form inside of this. So let's do form, right? And I guess we can wrap it around a div. So let's do maybe something like this, just to have a div of some sorts. And the form, let's check. So HTML form text input. Let's see how W3 schools does it. I mean, this is exactly what we want. So, you know, I mean, it's pretty easy. Just so we are gonna have the label, and this should be the ID of the first input. So let's say is the name, like the name. Let's say it's the post name. So it should be more like title, but name. Then we have an input of type text, and this should be post name. Oh, I guess for is for name, right? Don't really remember that well. And then we have p description, like post, but you know, we can have like post like this. Don't really need to be that bad with it. So, and finally this is gonna be for the description. And sure, we are gonna require like a submit button, right? So we are gonna have this stuff. Like if we try out right now the website, we're gonna see the description. Okay, I refreshed too fast. Okay, I really like how the spacing doesn't make any sense, but no, it's HTML, it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, we'll make it prettier when we add tailwind or something, but for now we'll just leave it as ugly as possible, just to, you know, because if we try to make it a bit pretty, then you will be like, okay, then I just like it how it is, I'm not gonna work more on it. But if it's ugly as hell, then you're like, okay, I'll have to do something about it. Okay, so we have this part, but let's say that we want a button. So where's the button? I guess it's this one. Input type submit. Yeah. So I think this is what we need. And let me see if, notice that must have a name. Okay, so I guess for, let's see if it says that. If it has something about for, because for should be, Jesus, I mean for should be made for the ID, right? And the name is what it's put into the JSON. So that means we have to use name description. Let's see if this changes anything. So, and yeah, when you click this, you see that it makes a query, right? So it makes like a single query. So that's pretty interesting, right? And if we put here like some name and description, okay, so it works even with pressing enter. But yeah, it makes a query to our like thing. So no, we don't even need HTMX. We could just accept this request, right? Like it makes a query to our website with that straight up. So some name. Alright, yeah, it does just that. But wouldn't it be cool if our you know, submit actually makes a post just like this one to the API itself? So I guess we don't even need to implement anything else after that, because it's gonna just add this new post in the list. So yeah, that's my idea. So HTMX button post, that's what we actually want. Right, so I want to make a post request. So yeah, basically like let's add this one. So post, right? Was it posts? Let me just double check. So controllers posts, it's, oh, I guess it was in main. So main, yeah, it's posts. Okay, so this one should now make should probably make a request to API posts, right? And we can even have an HX target, right? So I guess the first thing is, let's try to test this out, see if it actually does anything. Let's refresh. Some name, and the description is, we submit. Okay, if we refresh, nothing really happened, but interesting. I mean, it didn't really work as I expected. So do I really have to use a button? So let's see, HTMX form post. I guess you have to use HX post on the form, right? Or something like that. Let's just try it out, see what happens. Nothing really happened. Form submit post. Interesting. So maybe like an example of someone. Something like ID. Okay, HX get, HX trigger. Oh, can we maybe? Okay. Yeah, like this is that form. Let's see, what if we add this stuff? So doesn't really work as I thought it would. I guess let's try to do something like this. So this should be post form, and then after the form or something, let's do a button. Let's have a button, right? Just like this, type submit. Let's just you know, okay, let's put the form post submit. And what if we add, but yeah, it doesn't, I don't know how it makes sense though. But it still made that get request. And I'm just trying out to see if, you know, adding more stuff but it keeps just doing get request, which is a bit weird. Yeah. Okay. HTMX post form. That means it's exactly what I... Okay, maybe I have to add hx trigger, like hx trigger submit, but it's... Oh, I closed my stuff. Still doesn't work. It keeps doing a post instead of... But I mean, judging by what I see here, it's like pretty similar. And let's try to, you know, copy paste this stuff into our thing, even though we don't have that. We'll see if anything happens, right, with this example. So if I click on this, nothing happened. Wait, what? Still nothing happens. Well, that was a lie. Bro, like, oh my god. And let's not talk about it. Because I have no idea, but I was like 100% sure I had it. What the hell? Okay, let's see again. So if I try this one, but still nothing. Wait. To your head tag. Oh, do I need to restart something? Maybe I need to hard refresh a couple of times just to make sure. Okay, it still doesn't work though. Pretty strange. But this one worked. Right? I mean, the example that I copy pasted didn't work, so we can remove it because it's complete crap. But okay, let's even leave a dislike. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, actually I forgot to whatever, because I was like, dude, come on, it's like there's no way you need all of this. I did it before and it was pretty simple to do. So okay, yeah, and now it complains in here. Okay, let's do it again. It complains that name, validation for name failed. Validation for name. That's pretty interesting though. So let's see the post inside of our controllers, and when we try to create a post, we just bind it, right? And in here we said that this is the name, this is the description. Oh, yeah, but I don't really see the request that we made. Oh, it's here. I wanted to see how the request looks like. So it's, oh, it's form data. Oh, it's form data. Okay, so can we maybe make it JSON? HTMX form as JSON data. So what, maybe this one? Let's see. No, like let's do something like you know, better formatting, because it's too long for me. But yeah, maybe that, like JSON something, would be cool if this helps. So still failed, but again I haven't refreshed the thing. So name test, so still failed, and this still form data. So we need to add this thing. Okay, let's try to add it. All right, now let's go here and refresh. Name test. Oh, we actually got it in. Pretty nice. So it made a post request to this, and it actually added it. All right, so now we are able, you know, we have the form here, to add this kind of posts. It's pretty nice, pretty neat, right? But I mean, I guess that's all that I wanted to try and do. Maybe the next one, as I was saying in the beginning, was you know, like we had that duplicate here for getting a single post and in the API. So that's why maybe we want to use some kind of services. And my other idea was to be able to use the top G stack, was to use OCaml, just to have an O for the UI. But no, that would be too insane. But yeah, let's add also the other routes. So get all posts, controller, get all posts, or I guess get posts. So let's go to posts, right? So we have get posts in context. Okay, so again, now we see that we have the duplicate again with the database calls. So maybe that's what we want to add, like services, right? And inside of services to have service for posts that you know, handles the database stuff. But I mean, let's just do this one and we'll refactor later. So inside of view, we already do this thing of getting all the posts. We do it like this. Oh, we don't handle the error. I mean, we'll handle the errors. So let's do this one. So this is get post simple, this is get multiple posts, right? And I guess what we want to do here is to return all the posts, right? Here we don't really have any params. We might in the future add query parameters, right? Like have filters and stuff, but not right now. Like to be able to have, you know, pagination, stuff like that. Okay, so we have the error, we don't handle it. Let's say that if error is not equal to nil, then what we can do is say status HTTP internal server error, because you know that's pretty much what it is. It's pretty much what it happens. Yeah. So obviously now if we try to do curl x get at localhost 8080 API posts, we should get all the posts. That works. Now it's gonna become a bit easier to, you know, work with the stuff. Okay, like update post. This is gonna be interesting. Let's do delete first. So posts controller, let's do delete post. I mean, I guess update is the not necessarily the hardest one, but it's the hardest one because the query is gonna be more complicated, but yeah. So we have delete now, delete post, in context, and let's add function for posts controller, delete post, the gene context, and for this one we need to get the ID from the parameters, right? And basically I guess let's search for the example of delete. So my guess is that delete should be pretty simple to do. So let's do p new delete where id is equal to our slug, right? And this is c. Again, not sure what this thing returns, but pretty sure we don't care about what it returns. Like it's a SQL result. Ah, okay. It's like nothing interesting. Okay. So I guess the error can be useful in this case because we can have stuff like the post was not found, or there was an internal server error. Like not sure how we can match on the errors. No, like that's the only thing I'm not really sure about how to do in Go, because sure we got an error, but how do we know what kind of error it is? Oh, and you know what? I just realized, but no, like see when we import stuff from oh, not really. I was like, we don't use the prefix, but yeah, we do. Okay, fine, whatever. So yeah, like it's an error, but we don't really know if it was not found or if it's an internal server error. So is there like ban.error? Go match on error type. Yeah, I mean, errors is okay, so that's how you do it. Well, I mean, sure, would be useful, but errors is not. And what if we search for no, oh my god. I just wanted to see like what error do we get, but maybe we have to search error types. Because yeah, I mean, it would be useful but not really necessary, you know. So yeah, I mean, you know, it's not really the end of the world. We'll keep it as internal server error, and in case it works, we should probably respond with cstatus. Do we have delete? Oh no, probably with OK. And oh, the other thing, created, no, like, should we respond with created? Have no idea. On create, I think so. Okay, so yeah, fair enough. We also have delete. I'm not really sure how we can handle the errors better, but I'm sure we can do abort with error, pass in the error. Right, because it looks like it's not really. Oh, and here I forgot to return. Even here. Yeah, like, doesn't really seem like it's returning the error anywhere. So it's more like for logging purposes. Right. Okay, let's try to delete a post. So if we do delete and we pass in, let's say, this slug, it should probably delete the first one. Right, didn't. Query does not have a table. The hell? So it's delete 500. Oh, really? Wait, this tricked me, because it literally said like it misses the model from here. Anyway, yeah, so you know, interesting. I mean, yeah, sure, whatever. So we want to also models.post. Alright, we have to pass in the table. So okay, looks like this returned 200, so maybe it deleted the first post. Oh yeah, and it's basically gone. The name, the description. So yeah, like it's ugly there, but see, it returns it. So pretty nice. And my color scheme is so bad for like the terminal one, but you know, I don't know, I just like how it looks on the TMX thing. Yeah, I guess these are all of these. Go back to main. The last one is update. So posts controller update post. Right, this is the last one. So update post. Context, and from the examples, where is it? We have an update here, right? So again, we'll just follow the example. Let's use the delete one because, to be honest, it's not similar at all. So we're gonna take the ID from the thing, right? We're gonna take the ID so we can specify which columns. Okay, I guess omit 0. That's something that we should probably use. Alright, so then where is the create? Here. We want to read the post from the body, and again here maybe I'm thinking about it, but maybe we'll need another structure for what we get inside of the body, right? To hold only the name and the description, and then we convert that into our post and use it in the query. I think that would be a bit better. Anyway, here we get the post from the body, and then we need this thing, so do it like this. Again, we are not gonna use the result, right? Database, we do a new update, and for the model we can pass in a post, right? Wait, what? Oh, I did that, okay. So we have this part, and let's say post slug is equal to slug. Oh, it's no, yeah, it's UID parse, but should work even without it. So oh, it's because I have error multiple times. I mean, whatever. Lucky that we don't use result. Yeah, well, I mean, it's fine probably, but yeah, I would honestly try to convert everything to that UID, just to make sure it's a new ID, basically, right? So even with some validation, pretty much. So yeah, this should probably work to update. Right, it's gonna try to update the post where primary key, and it's gonna ignore all the unset stuff, right? That's the purpose of omit 0, I guess. All right, so yeah, looks like we have all of this stuff ready. I mean, we can try to update the post. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, in this case we haven't really handled errors, but we'll see about the view. Okay, so in main, yeah, we have everything, so everything should be able to compile. Yeah, sure. Here we have the posts, so let's try to change, I don't know, the description of this one or something. So let's take the URL, and then we need to make an update, right, to localhost 8080 API posts, this one. Sure, I would need the body itself. Whoa. All right, so let's, I guess the slug doesn't really matter, so we can ignore it. It's gonna be overwritten anyway. And let's change only the name. Page not found. Huh? Oh well. Page not found. Oh, it's put. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking that it's update. What the fuck? Anyway, so now it's a 200, right? So it worked. And if we refresh, it's no longer there. Huh. Pretty strange, am I right? But here it responded with a 200, so what? Oh my god. I I did the the other way around for some reason. Like I did update was doing the delete and delete was doing the update. It's pretty funny. Delete post. So let's go ahead and do yet again a name and a test, right? So we get the, it's easier to get it from the URL, just like this. And now let's try to put again a new name, right? So bam, it did a thing, and now if we refresh we get a new name, right? And even here we get a new name. That's pretty nice, right? And it only updates what we specify because we ignore the stuff that like omit 0. Yeah, it's pretty cool, I guess. Like, you know, obviously like another step, as I kept saying, is to maybe use services to not have duplicate like this. But I guess it's fine for now. The only extra thing that I have to do is to add some error checks in this one. So, you know, would be nice to have some 500 page, some page for the 500 status code. Whoa. HTML. So we have like HTML, but do we have like internal server error or something? 500? Abort with error. I mean, we can try to abort with error. HTTP internal server error, pass in the error. But no, how can I make this one fail? I guess. Well, you know, if the table doesn't exist or something, maybe that's when it's gonna fail. Or something like that. Oh, and this one. Yeah, I should have done like abort with error. Maybe do like error and return. I'll try to change this one also because I'm pretty sure I use the same kind of so it's in 3 places, right? Okay. So yeah, like maybe it looks nicer like this. Okay, so here we have another error, right? And this usually would be for either not found or, and yeah, basically we already have the same thing here. So right, it's exactly the same if we take a look. I mean, something's a bit different. Oh yeah, it's because of this, but it's the same, right? So yeah, but then again, if depends on the error, because even though this one is not found, yeah. Anyway, let's try to see if we do like we don't really get a nice screen or anything, so but we get a status code, right? So it should be enough. So yeah, I guess, you know, like a good next step would be to actually refactor a bit and have like services and stuff instead of doing everything in the controller. Maybe even adding users, because I said in the beginning to have users, but haven't really handled that yet. So yeah, next time let's try to do users. So make a table for them, and I'm not even sure what, like, we don't really need to keep the username and stuff because those will be taken from OAuth, so we don't care about that. We can easily make a request to the GitHub or whatever we are gonna use and get the name, so that could work, right? So yeah, not sure what is gonna be required. Maybe like the authorization token or something like that, like some ID should be kept in the database. But yeah, like sure, we still are gonna have an object like this with JSON stuff, but not everything is gonna be like columns for a database. So yeah, and then again we'll add the routes for the user, like the API stuff, and then for the UI we are also gonna have some routes for the user in our UI. And yeah, I mean, no, it's not really a bad idea if we wanted to have the UI in a separate application, just to be able to, you know, make that top G stack. Oh yeah, and obviously to be able to go towards the top G stack, we also need Tailwind. But that means to make the website a bit prettier. So, no, I guess playing around with Tailwind is gonna be a separate one because I haven't really used Tailwind that much, so it's gonna suck. And even doing OCaml, I haven't done OCaml, like, I mean, no similar languages, but not OCaml. Yeah, like then if we move this code in a separate project, then we don't really need to have services for this, but maybe it would still be nice, have testable code, whatever that means. Yeah, because trust me, I look at this, there's like nothing really that you can test about it. It's like just runs. Right, like there's no really that smart unit test. It's like it's easier to spin up a database and test it like this than it would be to test it with unit tests. So yeah. Okay, so I mean, let's do go mod tidy, see what happens. Well, I have no idea, but yeah, pretty happy with these results. So as I said, next time let's do users. So first let me just do a commit. So we have the Docker file for Postgres. Okay. Yeah, maybe, you know, build posts. Like, one thing would be maybe rename this one to Docker file Postgres, then have a Docker file for our own stuff, like for the app, right? But other than that, not really that. So go Postgres HTMX. You know, like, even if we use OCaml, are we allowed to ignore the fact that we have HTMX and we cannot use H in the stack name? And I guess so. It's HTML basically in OCaml. Yeah. No, probably I should specify here how to run this thing, but cannot be really bothered. So okay, I mean, sure, fair enough. Docker build -t Postgres UID dot, and then yeah, I have no idea. Let's say, oh yeah, and also another thing that we have to do is handle the secrets, because right now we just use plain text. But yeah, so this one is gonna set up Postgres with the UID whatever, and then air. That should do it. Obviously for this one you need air, so maybe I'll leave it like this, or install and run air. Yeah, sure. So yeah, let's say top G. No, well, I mean, it's gonna happen, like, sure. Whatever, and yeah, I guess this was everything for today, and see you in the next one.